The Zargon sector was quiet, almost too quiet. Commander Alex Carter stood on the bridge of the starship Horizon, looking out at the dark expanse of space. The sensors were picking up unusual energy readings from a small uninhabited planet near the edge of the sector. Alex frowned, rubbing his chin. Something about the readings was strange, but he could not put his finger on it. "Captain, the readings are rising," said Mia Thompson, the ship's pilot. Her voice was steady, but there was a note of concern. She had flown many missions with Alex, and she knew when he sensed danger. Alex nodded. "Keep an eye on it. We need to find out what is causing these fluctuations." As they approached the planet, the sensors became clearer. The readings were not natural. Something had left a pattern, a deliberate energy signature, though they could not tell what it was. The crew worked quickly, trying to decipher the signals. Olivia King, the ship's lead scientist, tapped her tablet and frowned. "Commander, these signals are unlike anything we have seen before. They are structured almost like a message, but encrypted." Alex leaned over her shoulder. "Could it be alien life?" Olivia shook her head. "If it is very advanced and very dangerous." Meanwhile, far away in the alien council of Eldrax, members were gathering for an urgent meeting. The Eldrax were a proud and old race with technology that rivaled anything humans had ever built. They had observed humans for years, noting their expansion, their curiosity, and their stubbornness. General Voran, a tall and grizzled leader, spoke up first. "Humans are advancing too quickly. They are poking into sectors that are dangerous. We must consider military action." The council members murmured. Some agreed, others hesitated. "We have legends," said an elder. "Legends of Deathworlds. Planets so hostile that any intruder dies quickly. Humans might come from such worlds. They survive where no one else can." Voran nodded. "We cannot underestimate them, but we cannot ignore their expansion either. We must act before they reach vital sectors." The vote was close. Fear of human adaptability clashed with the desire to assert control. In the end, the majority decided war must be declared. The Eldrax would send fleets to strike human colonies. They believed it would be quick, a simple show of power. They did not know humans well. Back on the Horizon, Alex and his crew continued to study the strange planet. Kevin Hall, a young officer, pointed at the sensors. "Commander, there is movement on the surface. Something is alive down there." Alex squinted at the display. It showed fast, unpredictable movements. "We need to scan closer. Prepare a probe." The probe dropped through the planet's thin atmosphere, sending back images. Rocks and sand shifted in unnatural ways, as if the ground itself were alive. Suddenly, a burst of energy struck the probe. It shivered and went dark. "What was that?" Mia asked, gripping the console. Olivia stared at the readings. "Something is defending this planet. Something intelligent." Alex's mind raced. "This might be a death world. We need to be careful. Prepare for immediate withdrawal if necessary." Meanwhile, in the Eldrax council chambers, General Voran spoke again. "The humans do not know what they are touching. They have ignored warnings for too long. Their curiosity will cost them dearly. We strike at first opportunity." Back on the Horizon, the crew watched as the planet seemed to pulse, almost like it was breathing. Alex felt a chill. "I do not like this. Something about this planet is dangerous, but it might also hold answers." Kevin Hall frowned. "Commander, are we ready if it attacks us?" Alex nodded. "We have shields and weapons ready, but we must be careful. This is not a normal planet." Hours passed. The crew analyzed the data, noting patterns in the energy surges. They realized the planet might be sending a signal, but they could not decode it yet. Alex decided to take a small team to the planet's surface in a landing craft. Mia, Kevin, and Olivia volunteered. They were ready for anything. The landing was rough. The planet's surface was jagged and uneven, with strange energy pulses that made the craft shake. Dust and rock shifted under their feet as they stepped out. Alex felt the weight of the unknown pressing down. "Stay close," he said. "We do not know what is out here." They moved cautiously, scanning the ground and the sky. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air. The ground trembled beneath them. Kevin stumbled. "Commander, this is not natural." Before Alex could respond, a massive energy burst shot from the ground. It was not aimed at them directly, but it showed the planet was alive in some way, capable of defending itself. Olivia's eyes widened. "This is incredible. The planet is intelligent, or at least highly reactive." They retreated to the landing craft, shaken but unharmed. Alex spoke through the communicator to the Horizon. "We are returning. The planet is dangerous, but it is sending signals. We need more analysis. As they lifted off, the reading spiked dramatically. The planet seemed aware of their departure. Alex felt a sense of foreboding. He knew that humans had ventured into danger before, but this was different. This was something ancient and powerful. Meanwhile, the Eldrax Council prepared their fleets. Warships readied their weapons, troops armed themselves, and the order to strike was sent. The Eldrax believed the humans would be easy prey, unaware of the legends they had ignored. On the horizon, the crew continued to study the planet from orbit. Alex looked at Mia and Kevin. We are not just explorers anymore. We are stepping into something much bigger. The Council will not wait long before they act, Olivia nodded. We need to prepare. Humans have always survived extreme conditions. Perhaps this is another test, Alex sighed. I just hope we are ready. This war, if it comes, will be unlike anything we have faced before. The planet pulsed one last time as they moved away. It was as if it knew humans were leaving but expected them to return. Alex could not shake the feeling that the legends of Deathworlds were not just stories. They were warnings. And humans, by their nature, were about to meet the ultimate test. Hours later, in the dark corridors of the horizon, the crew worked in tense silence. Every sensor reading was checked, every strategy discussed. They knew that the Eldrax fleet would not be far behind. But humans were resilient, and they had survived many battles before. They had curiosity, courage, and the ability to adapt, and that might be enough to face whatever came next. As the horizon set its course back to human space, Alex Carter looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, war was being prepared, and somewhere on the strange planet, forces beyond comprehension were waiting. He knew that humanity's story was about to change. Forever. The warning had been ignored. But humans were never ordinary. They were about to prove it. The human colonies in the outer Zargon sector were peaceful, or at least they had been. Life on the mining world of Arden was simple. People worked in the fields and factories. Children played in the streets, and ships came and went from the spaceport. But that calm was about to shatter. Captain Daniel Brooks was overseeing the transport of goods when alarms blared across the colony. Red lights flashed, and an urgent message came through the communicator. All personnel, this is not a drill. The Eldrax fleet has entered our sector. Prepare for attack. Daniel's eyes widened. He had heard stories of the Eldrax, but he never thought they would reach Arden so soon. In the control room, scientist Olivia King worked alongside him, analyzing incoming data. They are striking fast, and their numbers are larger than expected, she said, voice steady despite the panic around her. We need to mobilize our defenses immediately. Daniel nodded. All pilots to stations. Shields up. Weapons ready. We will not go down without a fight. As human fighters scrambled into the skies, the first Eldrax ships appeared. Sleek and powerful, their ships moved with deadly precision. Energy weapons fired, striking mining equipment and small ships alike. Explosions rocked the colony, sending smoke and dust into the air. Lieutenant Kevin Hall took the controls of his fighter, maneuvering through the chaos. Captain, they are targeting our supply lines first. He shouted over the radio. Daniel responded quickly. Then we protect them. Everyone focus on the supply routes. Do not let them take our resources. Mia Thompson, piloting a small but fast fighter, flanked Kevin and Daniel. We can use their size against them. They are strong but slow to change direction, she said. The humans began using clever tactics, darting between asteroids and using the terrain to hide. The Eldrax fleet had advanced sensors, but humans had learned to adapt to unexpected dangers. Olivia King monitored the battle from the control center, providing calculations for evasive maneuvers and predicting enemy firing patterns. In the midst of the attack, Daniel remembered the legends of the Deathworlds whispered among the Eldrax soldiers. They have trained on hostile planets, he thought. They can survive conditions we cannot even imagine. One Eldrax ship tried to flank the colony, moving around the mountains. Kevin spotted it. Captain, we have a target coming around the south. Daniel ordered, Mia, intercept. Kevin, follow me. Let's show them humans do not give up easily. The three fighters weaved through the asteroid fields, dodging energy blasts. Mia fired her weapons, striking the Eldrax ship's engines. It spun out of control and crashed into the mountains, sending debris flying. On the ground, human troops used armored vehicles to defend key positions. The Eldrax underestimated the humans' ability to fight back. People who were farmers, engineers, and miners became soldiers, fighting to protect their homes and families. Even children and elderly sent supplies showing solidarity. Meanwhile, far away, the Eldrax Council watched the battle unfold on their holographic displays. General Voran's face was grim. The humans are more resilient than we thought. Their tactics are unusual and they adapt quickly. An elder council member spoke. The legends spoke of humans surviving Deathworlds. Perhaps these stories are true. They are not ordinary prey, Voran scowled. We underestimated them. Adjust the attack patterns. Overwhelm them with numbers. Back on Arden, Daniel and his team saw more Eldrax ships approaching. Olivia King analyzed their movements. They are trying to cut us off from reinforcements. If they succeed, we could lose everything. Daniel clenched his jaw. Then we must hold them. We fight with everything we have. We will not surrender. Human fighters and ground units coordinated perfectly, using ingenuity and quick thinking. They set traps, ambushed advancing troops, and exploited weaknesses in the Eldrax formations. Slowly, the tide of the first strike began to shift. Kevin Hall maneuvered his fighter through a narrow canyon, leading a group of Eldrax ships into a trap. Explosions echoed as the Eldrax vessels collided with rock formations. Got them! Kevin shouted with relief. Mia Thompson joined in, firing at stragglers. We are not done yet. Despite their smaller numbers, humans continued to push back. Their courage and adaptability were on full display. Daniel knew this was only the beginning. The Eldrax had more ships and more strategies. The human colonies could survive, but the war was just starting. In the control room, Olivia King adjusted her instruments. Commander Alex Carter will want to know about this. Humans are already holding their ground against the Eldrax. It is remarkable. The battle raged into the night. Smoke and fire filled the skies as human fighters and soldiers continued to resist. Families huddled in shelters, watching the bravery of their friends and neighbors. The courage of ordinary humans was inspiring, even in the face of a powerful enemy. In a quiet moment, Daniel looked up at the stars. We are small, but we are strong. They will learn that humans do not back down. Far away, General Voran realized something troubling. These humans, they are not afraid, and they fight back with intelligence and skill. This is not going as we expected. Another council member added, perhaps we should reconsider. Legends of Deathworlds warned us about this. Humans survive conditions that would kill most species. Voran shook his head. No, we strike now. Victory is still possible, but we must be careful. Underestimating them will be a grave mistake. Back on Arden, the human forces had managed to hold their positions. Though the colony was damaged and lives were lost, they had shown they could resist even the might of the Eldrax fleet. Captain Daniel Brooks, Lieutenant Kevin Hall, and pilot Mia Thompson regrouped with their units, planning their next moves. We did well, Daniel said. But this is only the first strike. They will come again. We must be ready, Kevin nodded. We will fight. We will survive. We are humans. This is what we do, Mia added. And next time we will be even smarter. We will show them they cannot conquer us. As the sun set on Arden, the colony began repairs. Families worked together to rebuild, engineers restored power, and soldiers prepared for the next attack. Humans had survived the first strike, and in doing so, they proved something important. They were not to be underestimated. The Eldrax fleet, retreating to regroup, had learned a harsh lesson. The humans were adaptable, brave, and clever. They might be small compared to the vast Eldrax forces, but their will to survive and protect their homes made them a formidable enemy. The legend of the Deathworld seemed to come alive, hinting that humans carried within them the spirit of planets that could kill any intruder. Captain Daniel Brooks, standing on a hill overlooking the damaged colony, looked at the horizon. This war has just begun, but one thing is certain. Humans do not give up, and they will not be defeated easily. On the frontier planet of Vexor, a small human garrison prepared for what might be their final stand. Lieutenant Kevin Hall led the troops, knowing full well that they were outnumbered and outgunned. The Eldrax forces were closing in, their ships forming a dark cloud in the sky. The humans were tired, but they had faced worse situations and survived. Listen up, Kevin shouted to his soldiers. They think they can crush us because we are few. But we have something they don't expect. We have our land, our minds, and our will to survive. Stay sharp and follow my orders. The troops nodded. They knew the odds were against them, but giving up was never an option. Engineers quickly set up defensive barriers, and scouts positioned themselves on the high cliffs overlooking the valley. Every move was calculated to slow down the Eldraks. Meanwhile, the Eldraks fleet prepared their assault. General Voran observed the planet from his command ship. "These humans are persistent," he said, his tone heavy with frustration. "They survive in conditions that should have broken them long ago." "Perhaps the legends were true," his second-in-command sneered. "It is only a small garrison. They cannot possibly hold out against us." Voran's eyes narrowed. "Do not underestimate them. We strike with precision, but remember these humans are different. Their Deathworld history gives them resilience." Back on the ground, Kevin and his team had a plan. They knew they could not win in open combat, so they decided to use the terrain to their advantage. Vexor was a harsh world with jagged cliffs, shifting sands, and unpredictable storms. Kevin believed they could use these dangers against the Eldraks. "We lure them into the canyons," Kevin explained to his officers. "Their ships are too big and too rigid to maneuver quickly. Once inside, we hit them from above and behind." Mia Thompson, piloting a reconnaissance drone, added, "I can mark their movements and give you real-time data. We have a chance if we stay smart." As the Eldrak ships entered the canyon system, the humans set their traps, explosives hidden among rocks, energy nets to entangle ships, and sudden bursts of electromagnetic pulses made navigation difficult for the attackers. The Eldraks were strong, but the humans had prepared well. The first clash was violent. The Eldrak ships struggled in the tight canyon spaces, and the human defenses took advantage. Explosions rocked the canyon walls as one ship after another was damaged or destroyed. Kevin watched from a command post hidden on a cliff, giving precise orders. "Focus fire on the lead ships. Do not let them retreat." From above, Olivia King analyzed the battle. "They are reacting too slowly to our maneuvers. We can exploit their pattern. Guide the fighters to their weak points." Human pilots darted in and out of the canyon using speed and agility to avoid enemy fire. Each move was calculated and each attack was precise. Despite their smaller numbers, they managed to inflict heavy losses on the Eldrak's fleet. On the Eldrak's command ship, General Voran grew furious. "They survive and adapt at every turn. How is this possible?" His officers looked worried, whispering about the human legends and the tales of Deathworlds. Meanwhile, on the ground, human soldiers continued their defense. Kevin led small squads on ambushes, striking Eldrak's forces and retreating before the aliens could retaliate. The terrain was their ally and they used it well. "They are learning too quickly," one Eldrak's officer said nervously. "These humans are more dangerous than we imagined." Kevin paused on a ridge observing the battlefield. "We are holding, but they will not give up easily. Prepare for their next move. We must be ready for anything." As night fell, the humans lit controlled fires to confuse the enemy sensors. Shadows danced across the canyon walls, making it difficult for the Eldraks to aim. Explosions in the distance added to the chaos. The humans were small in number, but their intelligence and adaptability made them deadly. Mia's drone reported sudden energy surges. "They are trying a new tactic, moving larger ships into the canyon." Kevin frowned. "Then we must act fast. Pilots, intercept and slow them down. Infantry, be ready to strike any ground forces that land. We survive by staying ahead." The Eldraks landed troops, but they were met with fierce resistance. Humans used hit-and-run tactics, luring the aliens into traps and forcing them into hazardous areas. Some aliens fell into quicksand-like terrain. Others were caught in sudden landslides triggered by human explosives. On the Eldrak's command ship, Voran could hardly believe what he saw. "Every move we make, they have an answer. Their adaptability is beyond anything we expected. Perhaps these are not ordinary humans." Meanwhile, Kevin and his soldiers took a brief moment to rest and regroup. They had lost some comrades, but morale was high. "We are surviving," Kevin said. "And survival is just the first step. We will continue to fight. We will not surrender." Olivia King monitored the battlefield from a secure location. "Their coordination is remarkable. They communicate in real time and adapt strategies instantly. They must have evolved in extreme conditions. This is consistent with Deathworld legends." Kevin nodded. "It seems the stories were right. Humans can survive anywhere. That is our strength." The battle continued through the night, but the Eldraks began to realize their advantage was slipping. Ships were damaged, troops were trapped, and their confidence was shaken. The humans, though few, had used the planet's hazards and their own cunning to level the playing field. By dawn, the canyon was quiet. The Eldraks had retreated to regroup, leaving behind several damaged ships and troops. The humans had survived against overwhelming odds. Kevin looked over his team. They were tired but alive. We did it, Kevin said quietly. We survived the night. But this is just the beginning. The Eldrax will come again. We must be ready. Mia landed her craft and joined Kevin. They underestimated us and it cost them. Humans are not easy to defeat, Olivia King added. We have shown them our strength, but we must prepare for more. They will not forget this defeat. Kevin gazed at the horizon, the first light of the sun illuminating the canyon. They think they can conquer us because we are few. But humans have always survived. And we will survive again. In the distance, the Eldrax fleet regrouped. General Voran studied the reports of the battle, his frustration growing. These humans are not ordinary. They survive conditions that should have killed them. The legends of Deathworlds are not exaggerations. We must be careful. Underestimating them will be a grave mistake. On Vexor, the humans prepared for the next encounter. They knew it would be difficult, but they had proven one important truth. Humans could survive against impossible odds. The legend of the Deathworlds had become real, and humans were living proof. Their courage, intelligence, and adaptability made them a formidable force, even against the might of the Eldrax. Kevin Hall, standing on a ridge overlooking the canyon, made a silent vow. No matter what they throw at us, we will survive. We are humans. That is enough, and we will prove it again and again. The Eldrax fleet moved cautiously after their defeat on Vexor. General Marcus Lee watched from the bridge of his command ship, a sense of unease in his chest. The humans had proven their ability to survive and adapt, and the Deathworld legends he had heard as a young officer suddenly made sense. Humans were not ordinary prey. Their tactics are unusual, Marcus said to his officers. They use terrain and hazards to their advantage. They think differently, react faster, and survive conditions no other species can handle. His officers exchanged uneasy glances. What should we do, General? One asked. Marcus paused. We need to be careful, but we cannot retreat forever. We must strike with strategy, not just force. They may be few, but they are clever. Meanwhile, Commander Alex Carter and his team aboard the Horizon received reports from the frontier planets. Human colonies had survived multiple attacks, but they were suffering losses. Alex convened a council of leaders, including Captain Daniel Brooks, Lieutenant Kevin Hall, and scientist Olivia King. The Eldrax will not stop, Alex said. But we have learned their patterns. We know how they attack. Now it is time to fight back on our terms, Olivia nodded. We can use the planets themselves as weapons. Their ships are strong, but not adaptable to environmental hazards. If we force them into difficult terrain, we gain an advantage, Kevin added, and our pilots can coordinate attacks from multiple angles. We are not as weak as they think. Daniel spoke with determination. Then we plan a coordinated strike on their supply line. Cut them off and they will be forced to retreat. It will not be easy, but it is possible. The plan was set. Human fleets and ground units moved in unison, guided by careful calculations from Olivia and the Horizon's crew. They targeted a central Eldrax supply base in the Zargon sector, hoping to cripple the enemy's operations. As the humans approached the supply base, Eldrax scouts detected them. General Marcus Lee saw the incoming fleet and braced for battle. They are bold, attacking our supply lines, but we will meet them head-on. Prepare the defenses. The first wave of human fighters darted through space, fast and agile. Mia Thompson led the assault, weaving between Eldrax ships and firing with precision. Kevin Hall followed, striking weak points as Olivia provided real-time targeting data. The Eldrax were caught off guard. They had expected humans to defend only their planets, not attack supply lines deep in enemy territory. Explosions lit the space around the base as humans targeted critical fuel depots and communication arrays. Their strategy is brilliant, Marcus Lee muttered. They are using the environment and timing against us. This is not ordinary warfare. On the surface of the supply planet, human ground forces led by Captain Daniel Brooks moved swiftly. They used natural caverns and hazardous terrain to ambush Eldrax troops, cutting off reinforcements and causing chaos. Olivia King coordinated strikes from orbit, timing attacks perfectly with ground movements. Eldrax ships attempted to retreat, but humans anticipated their moves. They forced the fleet into narrow asteroid fields and unstable planetary canyons. One by one, Eldrax ships were disabled or destroyed. Humans moved like a single organism, adapting to each new threat with speed and intelligence. General Marcus Lee realized that humans were not just surviving, They were thriving in the fight. "They are more dangerous than we imagined," he said to his officers. "Every move we make they have anticipated. We must reconsider our approach." Despite their strength, Eldrak's morale began to waver. Reports of losses and failed strategies spread quickly. Humans had turned the tide using creativity, courage, and the unique ability to endure hostile environments. On the horizon, Alex Carter watched the battle unfold. "They are learning to fight on our terms," he said. "We have the upper hand if we continue with precision and coordination." Kevin Hall smiled as he guided a small squadron through a canyon filled with Eldrak's cruisers. "They thought they could overwhelm us with numbers. They forgot humans adapt," Mia Thompson added, "and we are using every advantage the planets give us. They cannot handle it." By the end of the day, the Eldrak supply base was in ruins. Critical resources were destroyed, ships were lost, and the enemy was forced to retreat. Humans had not only defended their colonies, they had launched a successful counterattack, showing that they could fight strategically, not just survive. General Marcus Lee gathered his officers. "This war is far from over," he said. "But one thing is clear: humans are not ordinary. Their resilience and intelligence make them unpredictable and dangerous. We must adapt or we risk losing everything." Back on the horizon, Alex Carter addressed the human leaders. "We have turned the tide, but the Eldraks will not give up. We must continue to work together, adapt, and fight smart. Humans have survived the impossible before, and we will do it again." Olivia King nodded. "The Deathworld legends are real, and we are living proof. This is our strength. Our ability to survive and adapt will carry us forward." Captain Daniel Brooks looked at the horizon. "They will try to strike again, but we have shown them humans are more than they expect. This is just the beginning of our fight," Kevin Hall added, "and we will continue to survive, adapt, and win. No matter what they throw at us, humans endure." As night fell across the Zargon sector, the humans regrouped. The Eldrak's fleet retreated, battered and wary. Humans had proved that even against a technologically superior force, intelligence, strategy, and resilience could change the outcome. The legend of the Deathworlds had inspired fear, and humans had made it real in practice. General Marcus Lee, watching from afar, made a silent vow. "We will not underestimate them again. Humans are unlike any species we have faced. Their will to survive is unmatched." On the horizon, Alex Carter reflected on the battle. "This is not just survival. This is humanity proving its strength. We have turned the tide, and the Eldraks will remember that humans cannot be easily defeated." The galaxy had begun to see humans differently, no longer just a curious species on the edge of space. Humans had shown that they could endure, fight, and overcome even the most formidable enemies. The war was far from over, but humans had taken the first major step in claiming their place among the stars. The Eldrak's council gathered once more, their chambers filled with tension and unease. Reports from the front lines painted a clear picture. Humans had not only survived the attacks but had also inflicted serious losses on the Eldrak's fleets. General Marcus Lee addressed the council, his voice steady but somber. "The humans are unlike any species we have encountered. They survive and adapt to conditions that would destroy others. Their tactics are clever, their courage unmatched. We must reconsider our approach." An elder council member spoke, his tone wary. "Perhaps it is time to negotiate. If humans are capable of this, continued aggression could lead to disaster for us." Voron, however, was reluctant. "They are dangerous, yes, but war is still an option. We can regroup, rebuild, and strike with superior force." Marcus Lee shook his head. "No, we must show respect. Humans have proven their strength. Ignoring it could be fatal." Meanwhile, aboard the horizon, Commander Alex Carter and his team were preparing to meet with Eldrak's representatives. Captain Daniel Brooks, Lieutenant Kevin Hall, Mia Thompson, and scientist Olivia King were present for the discussions. Humans had survived countless attacks, and now they had a chance to negotiate from a position of strength. Alex addressed the team. "We have shown them that humans are resilient, but we must approach this carefully. They are proud and will respect strength. We are not here to surrender, but to set boundaries." As the human delegation approached the designated meeting point in neutral space, the Eldrak's fleet was already there. Their ships were imposing, but there was a sense of hesitation in their movements. Humans had proven themselves, and the Eldraks knew it. General Marcus Lee stepped forward to meet the humans. "Commander Carter, we have observed your species closely. Your resilience and intelligence are remarkable. It seems we underestimated you, Alex nodded. General Lee, humans have always survived the impossible. We do not seek unnecessary conflict, but we will defend ourselves and our colonies. The discussion turned to terms of peace and boundaries. Humans spoke of their right to explore and settle in the outer sectors, while Eldrax acknowledged human strength and the dangers of further aggression. Both sides listened, understanding that mutual respect was the only way forward. Captain Daniel Brooks added, "We have lost people, but we have also shown that humans cannot be easily defeated. Our strength lies not just in weapons, but in our courage, adaptability, and unity." Kevin Hall spoke next. "Humans survive where others fail. We learn quickly, adapt, and endure. We ask that you respect that." General Lee nodded, acknowledging the point. "It is clear that humans are not ordinary. Your history, your strength, and your adaptability make you a formidable species. The Eldrax will recognize that going forward." Mia Thompson added, "We are willing to negotiate and find ways to coexist, but we will not allow our colonies to be destroyed." Olivia King concluded, "Science, exploration, and understanding should guide us. Conflict should not be the only path. Humans are strong, yes, but we value life and knowledge." After hours of discussion, both sides reached a cautious agreement. The Eldrax would respect human territories, and humans would maintain a watchful but cooperative presence in neutral zones. Both parties understood that trust would take time, but the basis of respect was now established. As the human delegation returned to their ships, Alex Carter addressed his team. "This is a victory not just in battle but in understanding. The Eldrax know now that humans are not to be underestimated. We have gained respect, and that is a powerful thing." Daniel Brooks smiled. "We fought hard and we survived. But we also showed that humans can negotiate, think strategically, and lead with intelligence. This is what sets us apart." Kevin Hall added, "We are not just survivors. We are humans. That means we adapt, endure, and find ways to overcome any obstacle." Mia Thompson nodded. "And now the galaxy sees it too. Our strength, our courage, our unity, these are what make humans remarkable." Olivia King looked out the viewport at the stars. "We have proven that the legends of the Deathworlds are not just stories. Humans carry that legacy within themselves. That is why we are respected and feared." Back on Earth, news of the negotiation spread. People celebrated the survival and achievements of humans in the Zargon sector. The colonies rebuilt stronger and wiser. Humanity had faced war and emerged not only alive but respected across the galaxy. General Marcus Lee, returning to the Eldrax Council, reported the outcome. "Humans are formidable. We have learned to respect their resilience. Future conflicts must be approached with caution." Elder Council members nodded. The legends were true. Humans are survivors, and we must treat them accordingly. On the horizon, Alex Carter and his team reflected on their journey. They had faced overwhelming odds, survived deadly environments, outsmarted a superior enemy, and earned respect. Humans had proven that courage, intelligence, and adaptability could turn the tide of war and secure a place among the stars. As they set course for the next human colony, Alex spoke quietly. "The galaxy will remember this. Humans are not just explorers or fighters. We are survivors, and we will continue to thrive." The crew looked out at the vast expanse of space. Somewhere out there, other civilizations would learn the same lesson. Humans were not ordinary. They were strong, clever, and resilient. The legend of the Deathworlds had become a reality in practice, and humanity had emerged victorious, not just in battle but in respect and reputation. And so, the war that began with fear and aggression ended with understanding and cautious peace. Humans had survived, adapted, and earned the recognition they deserved. The galaxy had been warned. Humans were a species unlike any other, capable of surviving the impossible and turning legends into reality.